Yeah, look right at me, sweetheart.
Rocks, and these are worn down. Look at this.
Yeah, worn down from people rubbing it.
Yeah. Petroglyphs in there too, and the Pioneer Registry.
We're gonna see the petroglyphs?
And these are both prehistoric American Indian petroglyphs and historic the Pioneer Registry.
Be sure to check out our previous Capital Reef video. I'll link that below. This is the beginning of the trail.
Hard to see right there, but yeah, if you look hard, you can see them. There's like tall people with. You come on down here like the sun. It's like the sun right there. And then you got some modern graffiti. That's a ewe. That's a big one.
Yeah, look right at me, sweetheart.
Just stand still. Eat. 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 Look up back.
Mm-hmm.
Pan to the right. Pan to the right. Up on that rock.
Just started to look around. Bighorn sheep. There's more up here, Dave. Dave.
Oh, yeah.
The sign indicated there was some remnants of an old phone line here. We think we found some of it.
Would you say that in times of flooding, how them little rocks are getting up in there? A big bunch, not like people putting them in there.
You don't think they've just fallen out of the crevices themselves?
They're different rocks.
Oh. We believe this is what they're calling the Pioneer Registry. We're pretty sure because there's a camera mounted up there to make sure nobody's vandalizing.
There's one right there. It's December 21st. Looks like it might be 1887.
There's an 87 there. Maybe that's the one you're looking at. C.F. Brown, October 17th of 96. Here's some names that say they're from September 1911. They had to hung from the top to get that up there.
Mm-hmm. Small rocks, and these are worn down. Look at this.
Yeah. Worn down from people rubbing it.
Yeah, it looks like it's sheared in half.
Yeah, it does. It actually does look like it's sheared.
Wow, that's good. Look at it. I mean, it's just amazing. It must have been clay, and it's just been compressed and baked, and
That's sandstone, isn't it?
That could be sandstone.
We just did the hike through the Petroglyphs and the Settlers Registry down through the canyon here at the end of the scenic drive in Capital Reef National Park.
You know, really nice hike down through the canyon here. Once you get, well, half a mile and maybe into it, you drop down, actually walk in the water, so it's pretty easy walking. Amazing, just amazing. Different layers of rock, and the Settlers Wall was really cool.
We opted out of the tanks. That was a little bit more of a hike than we wanted to do this morning. It's only 0.2 miles, but it was pretty much straight up and not a very well marked trail.
Yeah, I'd suggest if you have all trails, download it before you get here, because you got no service in the park, and it's pretty much straight up a rock face, so you can't tell where the trail's at, and it's not marked.
I thought we were only going to the Settlers Registry. I didn't know we were going to walk this far, so I didn't bother downloading it before we left.
Yeah, we had some adventurous people that were trying it, but they looked like they were having trouble finding the trail. So there's some natural tanks up there. You say there's
natural tanks.
Yeah, there's water in the water pools in the sandstone, I guess is what we're thinking. That's what it was.
Right. So very worthwhile.
Yeah.
Just this wash itself, without doing the tanks, any skill level could do that. I would bring a hiking stick just for balance on some of the steps and rocks and stuff, but hardly any elevation gain at all. So very nice trail.
Right.
After lunch, we headed out on the Pleasant Creek and South Draw Trail in our Jeep. Nice trail. We knew we weren't going to complete it all the way to Utah 12 because there was snow between us and that road, and we just didn't want to get into that. That would have been crazy. Someday we'll go back and do it. Remember, there is no cell phone service in this area. Be sure to download any maps and let somebody know where you are before you take off. This road starts in Capital Reef National Park and crosses into some Dixie National Forest. There's also some wheelin land out here, as in Utah State Trust land. Be sure you know the rules and regulations for all these roads before you take off. I do want to stress again to try to be sure you have some kind of map you can follow, whether it's Gaia or you download Onyx. We are not sponsored by either one of those. We just use them in our travels. There are a lot of offshoot roads and trails out here that can take you off in the wrong direction. And also there's a lot of places where the smaller vehicles like the side-by-sides and the Razors travel that we're not going to get through with our larger Jeep. So by having the Onyx app, I was able, and it took a lot of checking because there's a lot of little turns and things on this route, but I was able to keep us on route for most part. A little backing up here and there. At about 6 miles in, we decided that was a good place to turn around and stop and take some pictures and head back to Capital Reef National Park. The only other vehicles we saw on this trail was those 2 Volkswagens and the people parked at Pleasant Creek. They must have been on a hike. This is a nice trail with some beautiful scenery. We were here April 8th, just so a little early in the season. Was some mud. We have seen some videos where people were stuck in the mud and had to be pulled out, but that's not what we ran into. And as always, let's keep rolling.